Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 549. We are live tonight. It is Thursday, October 12th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Anna.
Good evening.
And Peter.
For Pedestron.
So, and then I think Rob's supposed to join us at some point. Oh, he says that he should be here in 5 minutes. So there we go.
5 minutes of Robless fun.
Yep. But in the meantime, we can debate about what the topic should be for tonight, because I wanted to talk about TFcon, even though I'm not going, which unfortunately it's going to be like the first TFcon, I guess non-LA, that I've missed since 2016. So I'm a little bit sad about that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that with the people that are going and try to live vicariously through them. And what their plans
Rob going?
were. As far as I know.
Okay. If
He has
Rob's
a
going,
whole
then at least
thing
half of us
planned.
are. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
I don't really talk to Rob that much. I missed out.
yeah.
I don't know the secret going-ons.
Yeah, no, like some people have all these travel plans, and I've seen some people are going and doing other fun things, like not just TFcon. So, because apparently there's other things to do in Florida. I don't know what, but
Methamphetamines.
there you go. Yeah, but we could do that here in Missouri and Kansas. So
Okay.
But it's a different flavor, right? Like,
Tastes like sand. Yeah.
yeah, you gotta try all your varieties of meth. So it's an important journey.
So I wanted to talk about TFcon, but then Anna
We can
says
talk
no.
about
The
TFcon.
viewers don't care about TFcon. They
I didn't
want
say
to
that the viewers
have...
didn't care. I said that I'm tired of being grumpy about it. So,
Well,
but I can talk about the exclusives because I always care about exclusives. Exclusives are something that
we have to
appeals
wait
to me a
for
lot
that for
still.
Rob to be on or whatever. So, but we're
Oh,
still debating this
whatever.
topic. So, what were your topic ideas, Anna?
I didn't have any other topic ideas for tonight
And
with
this
the
is
group
why I
that's
wanted to talk about
here.
TFcon. Well,
The only thing that I'm interested in kind of revisiting, and I think we should revisit relatively soon, is I think I will talk about it a little bit tonight with one of the TFcon exclusives, but I want to talk about if Transformers women are still cursed, where they have to not be very good. That is the topic that I'm interested in still debating.
Well, so the figure that you
There's
just
no debate. They're cursed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter. Topic over. I'm gonna go to bed now.
Well, the figure that you held up, is that even supposed to be that character? Or is it really just a pre-tool for something else?
That's an excellent question. Do we still want to do a round of ouch tonight? Because if we want to do a round of ouch tonight, I'm talking about her, so I don't want to talk about her yet.
Sure. Then we can do a round of ouch.
We're saving everything for later. That's what tonight's show is about. Tonight's show is about saving things for later. This is about only eating a little bit of your dinner and then putting it in the fridge. Very exciting strategies.
So Peter, are you going to be a vendor at TFcon?
I am going to be a vendor at TFcon, yeah.
Look at that. So if you're going to TFcon Orlando here next week, Destron's going to be selling some stuff. Like, what wares are you going to have?
Junk, trash, nonsense. That's I deal in stuff and nonsense.
Is
I
this going to
feel
be all
like-
your movie stuff? Oh,
No.
hey, it's Rob.
Yo,
I feel like Peter's definition of junk will be like a mint inbox G1 figure with a small dent on the box. Like, oh, it's trash.
Well, I'm selling a bunch of sweeps and a bunch of universe and classics things that have been replaced. All my
Ooh.
retirees, so. Get out of my house.
Now, are these your extras?
No, these are yeah. I mean, I have all this stuff sealed upstairs,
Yeah.
but all the guys that were open on shelves are like, I don't need 2010 Sideswipe or whatever, 2008 Sideswipe, the Universe, Ironhide, Ratchet, Sunstreaker, Classics Mirage. Even though I like the figure, I have no room for the half dozen sweeps from Universe or whatever line it was. All that 2014 stuff, just anything that's been replaced by anything ever is going away. If it's not G1.
Nice.
I get rid of any toy that's been looked at by more than 3 people. It's just junk at that point. It's used. It's trash.
It's a
I
good
agree
rule
with
of
that.
thumb. I like it.
Their eyes have ruined it. What are we talking about?
So what you should we were debating earlier, Rob, about how what our topic should be, because I don't actually have a posted topic, because as I discussed earlier, I wanted to discuss TFcon, but then certain people tried to talk me out of it. So here we are.
The whole thing, Rob, I'm going to repeat myself. I've already said it once for the people listening. It's just that I don't really want to talk about my negative feelings about TFcon anymore. I feel like I've talked about those enough.
So I was trying to talk about positive feelings for TFcon.
Usually 2 weeks out, we've seen none of the exclusives. Usually it's all the week before, but we've already seen 2. So we have a little bit of fun stuff to talk about.
So I do have a
TFcon.
question before we actually get to that. Peter, can you take anything that was produced while Rick was working there, that you're gonna sell at the show, and just give it put it in a bag, a garbage bag, and be like, this is all garbage. Take it.
My
Look at the-
table is adjacent to Rick's table. No joke, it's going to be right next to his. So I don't want to do that because he'll be cross with me, and I don't want that.
You have a table?
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess that's what y'all were talking about then. You were talking about stuff you're selling at your table?
Yes. Do you have a table, Rob?
I'll be helping Orson again.
There we go.
I mean, we are driving down. So I've debated, grabbing a few of things that have gotten replaced over the past year, and putting them in a bin and bringing them down. But we're going on my family's coming down, and we're going on a cruise right afterwards, leaving from the port down there. I don't want to then have to take all the crap that didn't sold with me on the cruise and, that type of stuff. And if I buy an exclusive or two, I think Peter's bringing me something as well that I need to buy.
Oh yeah.
You were going to mail it, and that never happened.
That never happened. I forgot. I
Yeah.
can see it from here. It's right.
So yeah, I'll be picking that up. But so I've debated, and I know I could give it to Orson and probably pick it up at his house again at some point, because we pass through his area a couple times a year. So I'll just
swing
have
over
to
to my side of the state after the cruise, and I'll just take anything that you have with me, and then you just come pick it up and then go home. Just go straight up 75.
If you're not that far out of the way, that's actually a really good idea. I mean, I wouldn't have a ton of stuff to begin with. It's not
Exactly.
like
If we can make it work, then we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
The tradition on this show to talk excitedly about the conventions, and then what we're really doing is we're going to sell stuff, right? The amount of stuff I sold at October TFcon last year was ridiculous. It was just over the top amounts of stuff I sold.
I've told the story before. I came out of last TFcon with $3,000, and I didn't even bring I didn't even think I really brought that much stuff, But then I guess most of it's old third-party stuff, right? And I bought nothing, literally nothing. So maybe this year will be different.
Yeah.
I came close to buying a Grand Max, and then some other guy kind of swooped over there before I got there. I don't know that I would have bought it anyways. It's fine. But hey, at this time, and I can drop it off at Peter's house, that would work.
I sold
mean,
a
I feel like
couple $3,000
Transformerland-
last year.
Nice.
It was ridiculous. I still
Yeah.
have too many toys.
I mean, I'm just, I think a lot of us, I'm just going to see everybody, really. And I don't really care about the panels anymore. And Orson's like, hey, I need some help. I'm like, cool. Give me a dealer badge. Works out good. And I enjoy working the tables at this point. It's kind of fun. Just going to try not to get sick or bring sickness, unlike last time. Which, again, not my fault. It was my stupid wife's fault. But
sure she would appreciate that.
oh, she
that
knows. She feels
comment.
horrible, and I make sure she continues to feel horrible about it
Oh,
because she's a horrible
geez.
person. So she was talking about, she's like, hey, since we're all coming down, her and my daughter, like, she's like, we're thinking about, she's like, what do you think about if we went to Disney, like, for a day or whatever? Because they don't care about the convention. And I'm like, no, because we have a cruise afterwards, and I don't want y'all getting sick. And so many people I know that have gone to Disney, and they just keep coming back sick. It's hard not to. So,
I mean,
it's like if it was.
But wait, you're going to be going to a convention.
It's not as bad as Disney, though. And,
the number of people at TFcon is lower than the daily attendance at Disney by a large swing.
And at a dealer booth, I have a designated amount of space between me and everyone that I don't have to be rude to cuffed out. And with the dealer badge, like, I don't have to stand in line either or anything. I just got to make sure I don't get too close to everyone else and, like, give them all SARS again. So.
Yeah, my dealer filter worked really well last year. I just hid in my little box and no one could get that close to me. So.
Right, but
I
like,
didn't
what
handle
if you
anything they touched?
What if you decide to be in an enclosed space with a friend that, like, is feeling just a little bit under the weather, but then say the next day is, like, really sick, and then, oh, hey, look at that, then you're going to be going on a cruise.
Well, although it'll be fine. I'll just be like, hi, from over there, hi.
So, how far away is TF or Orlando from where you live?
I don't know exactly. I mean, I think it's like a 10, 11-hour drive. So we decided to break it up. So, like, we're going to drive half the way Thursday night. That way we only have to miss, like, one day of work and school for that week. So no one will be at anything on Friday, and we'll do the last half of the drive. That way I can still get there at a decent time, but not have to drive in one big 10-hour stretch or take 2 days off to get there in time. So
yeah, that was kind of the tough thing for me is, just looking at it, that it's 20 hours from Kansas City. So that's a little tougher, like, if you're going to drive down there. So, like, I would definitely consider it if it was a spot that was a little bit closer. And we've driven to DC, when they've had it there for a couple different times. But yeah, it's just tough paying for gas and whatever to, go down there. But yeah, I definitely have some stuff to sell, but
not this year.
Me too.
Oh well, we'll save it for next year.
We should have got a table at Planet Anime Con this weekend, Lucas. Or next weekend. We should have split one. It might have actually been a smart idea for us to do that in hindsight.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can't believe Peter's willing to make the drive. Like, that's the real sacrifice.
I-4 is really awful, and I don't know why I'm doing it either.
It's because we're going to be there.
It is because you guys are going to be there. It's going to be a whole 90 minutes of my life, and I'm just not ready.
Although I did have BotCon 40 minutes away, and I didn't go to the show. I went up one night to hang out with friends. That was it.
That was last year, right? Not this.
Yeah.
Not the New
Correct.
Jersey one. Okay.
Correct. Orson crashed at my place, got to save him a hotel room, so that was cool. And downtown Nashville was a nightmare. Just FYI, like, that night I went down there, it took me 15, 20 minutes to go like 2 miles downtown, and that was just to get to where to the parking garage. So that could it was terrible.
And that was because of the TFcon crowds or BotCon crowds. Sorry, it's just
No.
so massively attended that it's just totally changed Nashville forever.
100%. That's exactly what it was.
All those hundreds of attendees. I mean, hundreds of thousands, clearly.
Maybe 1 million, potentially. They were all just lined up down the street to buy the Beast Box exclusives.
I mean, those are so limited. You have to make sure to get right away.
It reminds me of the Fun Pub 2005 BotCon set. It's going to be like that, where one day, like 10 years from now, it'll shoot up in value, because people can't find it anymore because no one ever bought it, no one cared about it, It'll happen.
Pete will just somehow just be trickling it out, selling one at a time on eBay. So, what's the 2005 set?
That was it had
Desirous and the Bugs, and I forget what the name of it was. Ironhide and something.
It was a weird set. It didn't really have much of. I mean, they had a theme, but I don't know that anybody else felt it had a theme.
That was the one with Flame War, right? The first one with Flame War? Yeah.
It had a little black
bugs.
sign, and it had the bugs.
Yeah. It had the oh man, I'm all farted out on that one. The little Cyberjet guy.
Yeah. Didn't it have like an Outback repaint or something?
Yeah, it had Strong Arm as Outback, or they were gonna do. But they called him Fallback or Fredback or Carlback or I don't know.
Fred Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not a good set. I think I still have the Desirous from that though, just because that one's pretty. I mean, I don't know that it has anything to do with Desirous, but I mean, it's cool. It's a fun mold. You can make a hand out of it, and it's in black. It's not too bad.
Are you getting the Hasbro Desirous? I assume probably not.
Ooh,
No.
eerie.
Am I the only one not getting it?
I think so.
I mean,
Probably.
if it comes out before I die, I'll have the X Transbots Desirous. So, I mean, we know it's being worked on. I know he's made progress on it because we've seen I think we've seen resin copies of it or something. And at this point, the Hasbro other, quality issues aside, because I know there's been some with Star Saber. Quality issues aside, I think the Star Saber set and the Desert set look neat for Hasbro stuff. Right. They look cool.
Oh,
but
you made the right choice avoiding Star Saber. You and I have the same kind of reactions of snobbery towards Hasbro stuff sometimes. You would have. I keep my Star Saber in the basement where I can't see them. I keep a distance between us because I don't want to. I want to look at it. Every time I look at it, I'm like, why did I get that?
I mean,
and I added Transformers podcast.
I still have the Masterpiece one, so I'm pretty happy. And the Masterpiece one is it's barely more complex than the G1 toy, right? It's unless it's just more articulated. So it's just.
But it looks good. It has a good look to it. That's why I wish I had one.
Masterpiece is over there. The HasLab one is upstairs in the bedroom. The Gen 1's in the Gen 1 room, and the Planet X one's over in the modern room. I like Star Saber.
That's right. I have the Planet X one too. That was Lucas's.
Oh yes. Yep.
With his terrible, terrible face, but other than that, it's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know, for whatever reason that one just didn't connect with me. So yeah, I don't know. But the X Transbots. I was gonna say they finally came out with their Inferno mold, right? That they teased in 2016 or something. I
mean, they've already had, I think, 4 releases out of that mold at this point, I think. Because they did the green one, Inferno, and a yellow one, and I don't know if it's supposed to be, the G1 guy or not. I don't remember if the back attachment's correct or not, for Grapple. And then They just did
New
Bulkhead.
Rodimus.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and Bulkhead, those 4 are out. And then now and Artfire's probably out too. They probably didn't. I don't know if the Artfire's out yet from that mold. But that would be 5, I think. And then, yeah, there's that new one come out that's the Rodimus based off the unproduced G1 art, which that's how they got me to buy that mold again. I mean, it's a good mold, don't get me wrong. I just normally I wouldn't buy a second. But I'm going to buy that. And then the shattered glass Rodimus type colors on it as well. So kudos to them on finding some interesting stuff.
I mean, I will say it's probably not a bad time to release it because, like, the Hasbro versions of both Inferno and Grapple, like, I know Grapple, I think they didn't ever do a re-release on it. And I can't remember if Inferno, if they did. So I think those are actually a little bit trickier to find, aren't they?
Really?
If you're looking for Masterpiece. Maybe I swear that... I know when selling my Grapple off, like even a couple years ago, that it was not hard to do because,
Really?
for premium because they'd only like did one run of it. Like it was relatively limited. Like, whereas most of the Masterpieces, a lot of those older ones, they've done re-releases. So there's a fair amount out there, but I can't remember.
There's
was
800
there a knockoff?
Yeah, the plus versions or whatever. I don't know if they got knockoffs of the Grapple
I
Inferno.
think there's a knockoff, and I think
there?
they're pretty available. I think.
I don't
If I remember right.
I haven't really like followed that because like it seemed like for a while that a lot of the knockoffs of the Masterpiece kind of like dried up for a bit, but I'm sure now it's I don't know. I don't follow that scene too much anymore.
They're relatively common now.
I'm excited for Rhinox. I know that.
Yeah, me
Rhinox
too.
looks great. Yep.
Looks so good. I mean, I'm glad I bought the oversized knockoff of the, I don't know what's the Legacy or whatever, the recent Generations one. It's been a fine placeholder. I haven't had it super long, but that toy's still not going to be out for another 6 months or something. So it's serving its purpose. And it wasn't expensive. But yeah, the official one looks dope.
Well, it's nice to have an official one too, because like they haven't done a Beast Wars Masterpiece in a while.
No, it's been a long time. I think it's been like 2 years, maybe 3.
Was it
since we've had
Tigatron or Lio Convoy or whatever?
It was one of those. And my Lio Convoy already shattered. Not a major part, but a part in his I think it's in his wrist where it goes. It just kind of crumbled one day when I was playing with it. Which, never play with your toys. There you go. But no, I was just like, oh well, it still looks fine enough, but it was a bummer.
See, Rob, if only you had just only bought the Generations one, you'd be fine.
Hate to tell you, those eventually crumble as well.
Yeah, but then it's only a waste of $20 and
I still have all of the figure. It still does the things I need it to do because I generally display it in robot or in lion mode anyways. Most of my beast stuff is in animal mode most of the time. But so it's not too bad. It's whatever. It's not preferred, but I don't let it bother me. And I don't know if we have any new. Do we have any announced G1 stuff that I'm just totally blanking on that isn't out yet? I feel like
Yeah,
Hoist.
Oh, you're talking about Masterpiece. I thought you meant G1 reissues.
Well, we know that the Prime thing is coming out. What do they call that line?
Missing Link.
The Missing Link.
The Missing Link.
Yeah.
And then there's the reissues hitting Walmart.
Yeah, the Walmart reissues, which I know Christian was a little disappointed that we didn't have more Walmart stuff at their Collector Con. I was like, you know what? I think I'm actually kind of okay with that because we've been getting in a lot of figures lately, and like my Ultra Magnus just shipped, and I was like, I'm like kind of okay with that just because I've been spending enough money on Transformers lately here.
Yeah.
Did the Collector Con happen? The Walmart one?
I thought it did, didn't it, the other day?
Oh, okay. I knew Walmart did a special sell where they were selling Maverick for nothing, but
I think
still too expensive.
Transformers lately have went on sale. I know Amazon had like a a day recently, and I was just seeing
Yeah,
some of that. I
yesterday.
was like, oh man, that oh well.
Yeah, they had a few things on sale.
Did anybody pick up any of the G1 reissues that Walmart did this round?
This round is the blaster and the Soundwave, right? And the
And Perceptor.
cartoon colors.
I don't buy stuff from Walmart because it's going to be destroyed. 100% of the things I've purchased from Walmart online have been destroyed, and I don't find them in stores, so I've given up.
The toy will be fine, but I hope you don't want that packaging.
Not necessarily.
Really, they've damaged the toy. Wow.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to seeing, the packaging's all fucked up.
Yeah,
but
I have no faith or confidence in Walmart, in their ability to ship anything.
Pretty fair.
And Amazon is on my list too. So,
yeah, they're iffy. It just depends on what person you get packing it that day.
Yep, depends on. Yep.
It
Does the
does.
driver chuck it at the door, or what are they? How big a hurry are they in?
Our drivers around here are fine, at least. I can't say stuff about before it gets to there, but they come up, they just drop it. They're not like whoosh and and run, at least. Not yet.
I had the Amazon driver deliver some storage cube things for me, but they left, they were shipped in boxes and they left them just out. Not even in the under my porch where there's an overhang. They left them out on the sidewalk in front of my door, and it rained, and they didn't ring the doorbell or anything. So I mean, it's plastic storage cubes, so they were fine, but the boxes they were in were completely soaked. It's like, how hard is this? Walk a little closer to the door.
You got lucky that
it wasn't
something that can be ruined.
Yeah. So, USA.
Yeah, I would actually consider that Perceptor, because I'm trying to remember some of the reissues they've done for him. There hasn't been as many like Blaster and Soundwave. I mean, I feel like they reissue those every year or two, but Perceptor is a little bit.
Yeah, because they're beloved though. That's why they keep reissuing them. It's because they have that appeal. And to be honest, seeing them in the cartoon colors, the cartoon color Seekers, it was okay, fine. I don't really want those toys, and it's cool to see them in the cartoon colors, moving on with my life. But seeing Blaster and Soundwave in those colors, it's could I find a place in my cold, dead heart for those figures? Probably. Very tempting.
I've gotten to where I enjoy reasons to buy G1 figures again. But it has to be different enough. And I mean, they look pretty different, but I don't know that it's different enough or special enough to get me to pick them up. And they're not out yet for what it's worth. They come out tomorrow, it says. Tomorrow morning.
Okay. Did you get Balvintron then? Because that's definitely a reference of. Okay.
Yeah. And it's
an excuse
stupid
to buy
as
a
hell.
G1 figure.
And it's one of the worst purchases I've ever made, and way overpriced. But I bought it anyways. It sits on my shelf that is mostly knockoffs, like G1 knockoffs, like the cassettes, the oversized cassettes you got from Sir Toys for me. It's on a shelf with that, and that shitty Devastator knockoff that's multicolored. It looks kind of like the I guess, was it Diaclone or Machine Robo era? I don't know what line that was. I don't remember. Diaclone, yeah. It looks, it's kind of reminiscent of those, but it sits there with that because it 100% looks like a knockoff. It's just garbage. But
it's the deco. It's speculated is based on a knockoff.
Yeah.
And I know it's his album cover as well.
Yeah, but where he's from, it was Brazilian knockoff that was released down there. It was in that yellow deco, so they think that he saw it as a kid. That's the deco he knew. That became the album cover and also became his version of the Soundwave.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually cool from a story perspective.
Yeah. And they don't have his real weapons, and that still angers me. It's got the big dumb purple weapon that was, I know it's from another toy, but how do you not give him his real weapons too? Silly.
It was a little odd.
Silly Billies.
I think I would have definitely, because I got one and then I sold it for exactly what I paid for it and didn't exactly make money or anything off of it. But I never opened it, and I think the reason was that one of his cassettes was basically just stripes with a different name, and that was just awkward.
Yeah.
And I think that bugged me. I don't know why.
And I think it's a
And
white
also,
laser beak.
the white laser beak was appealing, but at the time I was trying to cut back a little. I was like, oh, this is a superfluous thing I don't need. And now it's like superfluity everywhere. So what have I accomplished?
I hate to tell you, the whole fucking hobby is superfluous. I can't say the word at the moment. Like all of it is. Yeah. Every single bit of it is.
The room is covered in pointlessness. It's great.
I was gonna say, I have the Balvatron, I think, with my my other weird reissues of G1 figures. Like they had a like a Blitzwing reissue in it, like
the Blitzwing, and was it Blast or wait,
Astrotrain.
Blitzwing and Astrotrain, yeah, and those.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had gotten that at this point because I have a space for it, but it was so hard clearanced that it's hard for me to pay what it commands these days. Because now it's well over retail last I checked. You know, like it's like double what it used to cost. Not counting.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
that was one of those ones that like the set went down to like $30 shipped.
Yeah,
right.
It was absurd, and they still couldn't sell it. It sat there for months and months and months and months, and then as soon as the last one sold out, spike.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't even understand why they produced that set. Like that was just such a weird, like, I don't know. Like at least the Balvatron one like kind of makes sense with, you know, his thing, but that, I don't know, it was just someone randomly picking colors, I suppose. I don't know.
We've talked about it before. Do you remember what it's from, Peter? Like it has a thing of what it's based off. I don't know that makes it good or not, but there was stuff. Like,
I don't remember.
Blitzwing is supposed to be like flywheels, I think.
Something right. Like okay, so I can get on board with that. What's the Astrotrain?
I do
right.
not.
Orange and purple. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I want to say somebody at one point told me something. I was like, okay, I guess I get that now.
You know who probably has the answer?
Rick.
Yep.
Because it's during the trash era, so Rick must have been working there. Oh, it's fun to talk.
Ask him next week, Peter.
I'll put it in the Beast Wars slideshow and be like, "What is this, by the way? I was told you're responsible for this."
Why? No wonder you no longer work there.
Ooh.
Go for the gut.
You can break his heart.
Yeah,
or his gut, whatever you want to break.
So what are the exclusives, I guess, for TFcon? Like, I think we had Make Toys, like, somehow is making another version of that Seeker mold, right?
Yes.
Good on
so
them.
Make Toys
good for them.
They're doing happy. Slipstream. And, like, I'm supposed to get really happy when a Slipstream figure is made because I love her colors. I like Slipstream. I want a, like, bigger, nicer Slipstream toy in my collection. But gosh, that one just like I see the pictures of it and the appeal is like the appeal meter is close to 0, right? It's just like
I feel like you feel like I have a little strip stream collection and like the only is it Cyberverse? What was it? It's one of the first shows where the toys are just trash. Like hot trash, you know, and I bought it and I kept it just because it was Slipstream, even though the toy is complete garbage.
I think I have all her Cyberverse figures, and none of them are good. The one that her legs don't move, but her arms do, at least kind of looks like her if you don't look too hard. So
it's one of the smaller ones. I know that I bought. It wasn't like a big one or whatever, but
the small one that half transforms.
I remember if like half of it didn't transform or something stupid.
Like she's like half a plane with like legs sticking out her ass or something.
Yeah.
It does not look. That was such a weird gimmick they made where they were like, we're going to make Transformers that transform halfway, then do an action feature. And that's all we're going to do. And it was like, I get that it was supposed to be a kids line, but I don't understand what about kids line says half transforming toy. Like one step changer, flip changer. Smash Changer, all that stuff
It's
makes sense to me, but not have Transformer.
it's a TikTok generation. They don't have time to do the whole transformation, right? So, but yeah, I look at this exclusive and like the colors don't yell Slipstream to me,
Yeah,
and
they're a little.
I think it's it's nice when they do a Slipstream with a slimmer mold, just because that represents the way the character is usually represented. Instead of just straight Seeker body. You get what you get or whatever. But I think those things combined with, holy God, how many times have I owned this mold? Right? Like I've gotten rid of most of them. I have the G2 when they did it, but it fits with that a lot better. So, and it's just like, I just don't need that mold again, which is basically falling apart anyways.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, because I heard there's QC issues with like their more recent exclusives. So like I would figure at this point like that mold is just not the highest quality.
That's a bummer because at one point that mold was like, yay, it was a big hero after MP11, right? Because it was like, oh, this doesn't have that neck bump and it isn't kind of awkward looking like MP11 was. It's a lot cleaner. This is cool. And then since then we've gotten like 3 other versions that have all been better, and now the new MP is just such a phenomenal, ridiculously good Transformers toy that it's really hard to look back at that Make Toys figure and be like, I want to own that again. I really don't want to own that again.
It has a few things over the official, like the knees are bad on the official Starscream. I don't remember if it's better on the other ones, but like, I mean, like mine are posed fine though. Like they don't, some people just don't know how to pose, but the knee joints aren't good though. Like they're not strong as they should be. And then of course, no waist swivel, and that really, that's a knock against it. I know why it doesn't have it. It's a trade-off, but I can understand people that like to make toys better. But it's just, I'm just kind of just done with that toy. And I say that somebody that bought one last year. So,
are you gonna get her?
No.
Are you gonna avoid her? Yeah, I think I have to. I think I have to avoid her. I wanted it because I was like, the moment my eyes kind of focused on the first picture, I was like, ooh, a Slipstream, so cool. I'm so excited. And then I realized the body was no different. I was like, okay, of course, it's just a straight repaint. That's all right. And then it was like, and the head is either not remolded at all and just colored slightly differently to look a little different, or extra hideous. I can't really figure out which one it is yet because they haven't. It hasn't been officially dropped on the TFcon website. There hasn't been a full photo spread yet. So there's a possibility a full photo spread can make it look better. It's not going to. It might make it look worse, actually.
It's not going to change the colors, and it's not going to change the mold. It's still going to be close enough. So
if it came with a Slipstream looking head, I might change my tune a little bit.
Head sculpts do a lot for you.
Over.
Like lots of times, I know. Like
they
that'll
do.
make or break a figure for you.
They really do. Like there's, a figure right in front of me right now that I'm going to talk about later that the head sculpt makes it, right? Like it's an okay figure, but the head sculpt makes it great. And I think I could deal with this if she had a good head sculpt, but we're going to get a mainline Slipstream in not too long. So I'll just wait it out.
I like that she, has kind of cemented her place. I think it's fun when like side characters or newly introduced characters in old shows like get integrated more, and especially if they're from animated. My bias is very blunt, and I don't know that really I'm sure there's some other characters if we think about it, but like animated really compared to other shows, I think put a lot of long lasting characters in there, like Bulkhead and Lockdown, and now Slipstream is coming around more and more. No love for Oil Slick though. And no love for Keytar Soundwave yet, but
that's too bad.
Yeah,
it's too bad.
We do need an updated Lockdown.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Hasbro hasn't done a new Lockdown.
I mean, if they want to give a distance from some time of fucking gun face Lockdown, like that's okay with me. Let that thing get out and get back to a good Lockdown. Oh, what was it? There was a recent something they showed off, and people were speculating in some places
that Lockdown alt mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it I can't remember who. What was the toy?
It might have been one of the Junkions. It might have been one of the girls. I don't remember.
I think it's probably one of the Junkions.
Probably.
Yeah, was it a detritus or whatever, maybe, or something?
No,
No?
Detritus is Hound.
Detritus. Okay.
Was it just Scrap Hook? Is
It
it
might
that
have been
simple?
Scrap
Hook
Hook. I
hand?
don't know. Yeah.
It was something like 2
No, it's
weeks
something-
ago.
Yeah. There's a car. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a car or something. Yeah, car.
Maybe it was a rock life form car, right? Get excited for your rock life forms.
I'm so
It's,
sad at Rock
it's-
Lords that they didn't do Rock
Oh
Lords.
yeah,
It's
we haven't
legacy-
been on a show together since that happened, Rob. We should both
Legacy
be like
Rock
crying.
Down.
Yeah, we need to get rocked
Rock
down. Rock down what now?
His face, instead of turning into a gun, just turns into another rock.
I found out the night before because we were all hyped, with the two like split or leakless listings that had Rock Lord type names. They were called rocks. We were all like pretty sure we were about to get some Rock Lord remakes. And then I found out the whole Inhumanoids link the night before, and I was like, they're not Rock Lords. They're not going to even be anything similar to Rock Lords. And then we saw them, and it's like, no, they're not. They're rock car and rock bike.
I mean,
They
it's
turned
just
to rock
like they
guys.
took all of the Junkions and kind of made some rock patterns on the outside of it and said, here you go, here's your rock dudes.
It's not far from that.
I mean, for what it's worth, like, if I was a person making financial decisions at Hasbro and somebody said, hey, we want to homage Rock Lords, well, what do they
Right.
transform into? Rocks? I mean, I don't know that I would greenlight that, right? That
Right.
expenditure. That doesn't sound very appealing on a toy shelf.
Right.
But I'm not in there making that. At the end of the day, I'm just like, oh, that's not what I want at all. Never mind. Like,
Well,
I need
do you
basic shape. I'm a basic person. So
Would you have been less disappointed with this, Anna, like if it wasn't for the leaks? Like if you had just seen it like on its own and didn't think that there was Rock Lords coming.
All I would have said was, they should have just done Rock Lords if they were going to do rock things, and we moved on with my life. It was just because we had that hype time, like Christian and I talked about it so many times, where I was like, they won't do Rock Lords, Christian. He was like, look, they're calling them rocks. It's Rock Lords. Look at the names. And I was like, I'm convinced there's going to be Rock Lords. This is the happiest day ever. And no, it's not the happiest day ever. Those were some of my favorite transforming action figures toys as a child. Like, they were really genuinely fun for me with my little, not very complicated hands, being able to actually transform them. And they kind of looked pretty cool in their person bot thing modes. They were great. I actually sincerely enjoyed Rock Lords and wanted new ones, but it's okay.
we still have the originals. It's fine. Originals are still pretty cheap as long as you don't want weapons or them to be in like really nice quality. That's how I feel like GoBots are. I feel like GoBots and Rock Lords, they have that. If you want a basic collection, it's cheap as hell. Whereas like a Transformers basic collection is still pretty expensive. But then if you want like a nice collection, like I feel like the Transformers range is here, but like GoBots and Rock Lords is out
It
here.
is.
It's like if you want one that has its gun, it's like, oh well, that's 6 times as much.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want one that isn't all scratched out the hell. We'll double it again.
Yeah,
as
if you
well,
want stickers, chrome, weapons, not floppy joints, and you're gonna pay.
You were paying.
The Rock Lord.
It took me so long
The
to find a
base-
nugget I liked. But I did get there. Like the one I have is pretty decent. Like it's not perfect, but it's decent. It's got its weapon, But it took me a while, and I had to, I didn't get it for $5. I mean, I didn't pay like 100 or anything, but I think I had to pay $30-$40 for it.
I was looking for a nice one, and then I was visiting my sister once, and she had digging through old stuff after my mother passed, found my childhood one. And it was like, my childhood one is not in good shape, but it is mine. It is the only one I want, right? Like I was like, I don't need any other nugget now. This one has all the chrome marks, all the wear on it. I did that, so it was all okay.
So it's all
with
right.
me.
You have owned it since it was pristine, so it's okay.
Oh yes, I destroyed that thing with my little dirty child hands, transforming it 8 million times because the flip out jetpack was cool every single time.
that it is. So the other exclusive, I guess the only one that's been officially announced is the Fans Hobby Huntsman, which is the Predator recolor of that dude. How is that toy in general? I haven't messed
So
with it.
good. So
Yeah?
good. I give it a hug every night. It's so perfect. It's,
Talon.
the whole transformation is slide joints, so it's a little weird. Like some of the weaker plastic around the plane parts feels like it's fragile, but it's one of their toys, right? It's a
Yeah.
Fans Hobby toy. They're made like bricks,
They're
so
good.
I don't think you're gonna break it. It's just a lot of slide joints that are kind of strange. But good grief, he poses so good. Like if you don't care about Super God Master Force, but you do for some reason care about weird European dudes, the Huntsman, I wanted to say Marksman, the Huntsman exclusive is going to be really cool. Like the colors look great. It looks like a really neat opportunity to get this mold, which is perfect, as a different toy.
I'm debating on it. I try not to buy too many repaints of stuff. But I haven't bought the Fans Hobby one, and I don't know that I'm going to, for the same reason I didn't buy the Double Dealer from them, because I don't think aesthetically it hits what I want when I know there are other options out there, and there's no other options for Hydra and Buster or Darkwing and Dreadwind yet, but we do know that I do think Keith will again eventually get to it. If it happens before I die or not, it's a big question mark. But
okay, so the older Fans Hobby figures of the Super God Master Force characters are not accurate
at all,
but
they've
Clouder
definitely gotten more.
And Buster and Hydra are like spot on. They are
so not
good.
Spot on.
They are spot on.
They are not.
They hit my eyeballs.
Like they are infinitely closer than their previous Master Force releases. Like they're better enough that if nobody else was doing anything, they would be okay. But I know that some people Keith does like Master Force and is getting into that stuff, but it's just slow as hell. It's just going so slow. So I don't know.
I mean,
but nobody else is going to do this recolor though.
No, these are weird. These are weird things that you're only going to get once.
Yeah. So like, I'm leaning pretty heavy towards getting it, but it's like if I end up getting them for my Hydra Buster or Darkwing Dreadwind, I don't know if Fans Hobbies announced that, but they don't do a lot of repaints. They have? Okay.
Yeah, they're doing. They just basically, when they released Buster, they were like, "Don't worry, we're going to release the U.S. colors too for you people who don't know who this actually is." So.
Okay. So yeah, it's good. I would hate to have just more copies of that mold, but I do love those colors, and I love the Euro G1 stuff as well. So I'm on the fence. We'll see how I feel at the show. I mean, I really like the machine or crap. I blanked on his name. I can't think of names anymore. Peter, what's the one the Double Dealer repaint they did that Stalker? There it is. Yeah, I was like, it's Machine Wars Soundwave. What's his goddamn name? But
yeah, it's Stalker and Talon. I love the Predators, but I have no desire to have not quite right masterpiece scale Predators in my collection.
That's the turnoff for me, is that the Homage, he's huge, and those toys are not huge. They're the size of like their Headmaster Juniors. That's what the figure that should be. That's the size the Predators are, other than Skyquake, who is of course huge. But
these are so big. Like this is a very just.
And for Hydra and Buster, that's
big.
Right. But
yeah, it's like here's a deluxe, and
I mean,
these are honestly, very, very large figures.
They're probably too big for most G1 masterpiece scales technically, but I don't know. You put them on a Master Force.
They scale with each other.
It's probably fine. Exactly. They're probably close enough.
They're doing all of Master Force, so like it seems like they're going to do all of Master Force. They haven't done the other Autobot God Masters, but they're pretty much getting through the Destrons. So,
what if they do the Headmaster Juniors for the Decepticons? Or not the head, or yeah.
Yeah, the Juniors. They haven't touched the Decepticon Juniors at all.
No one's even like talked about that in the slightest. That would be dope.
I got some really clever customs out of some Titans Return stuff. like Squeeze Play or Cancer out of Mind Wipe, I want to say, and then obviously Horrible or Bullhorn out of Skull Cruncher. And they look really good, yeah. And they're already headmasters, so I mean, and everyone speculated based on those customs. Oh, Hasbro, this is a sure thing. It's a sure thing, and
people got to stop saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I like to get my hopes up because you'd like to think Hasbro would like to continue to get our money, but sometimes they just want to release 14 Bumblebees because Grandma wants to buy Bumblebee for their grandkid again.
We got one of the Decepticon juniors from Hasbro. You know, we got the Wilder, and that was it. Like, everybody was like, oh, we'll just get one per 4-pack for a couple years. No, we're not getting one per 4-pack. That was it.
I bought two, and I left one's optics the standard color, and I painted one's optics red. And so one could be Wilder and one could be Fangry, and they're on two different shelves.
It's funny, like, most stuff has gotten, even the Japan, or like, the stuff that was only in the Japanese cartoons, you know, they had US toy releases, but they weren't really in the show, or maybe they were in Rebirth shoved in there. I don't know. But like, there's still a few things that somehow they just haven't hit on yet. And, you know, Squeeze Play and Horrible are two of those that just kind of surprised me, that with so much they've done and all the retraining that they just haven't worked those in, and as well as we haven't gotten a Quake, have we? Am I know there's been some toys.
We got a Quake out of Hardhead.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, we did. That's right. Okay.
But he's a headmaster, and like, he's not great, and there are other molds that could have been used that would have been more appropriate, and it's just one of those. They phoned it in. Something. Yeah, they phoned it in. They got their money, and now they can wait another 8 years before they try again.
It was that era of Hasbro. That's what they did then. They just were like, oh, well, this toy is kind of similar to this other toy. Let's paint it in its colors.
And there's a few other random ones, but I feel like those were more prominent. I don't know, maybe it was just my childhood, you know, and what the toys I had to play with. I know I had Quake a lot. I remember playing with him a lot as a kid, but alas. And then, of course, where's our Bullet Bike masterpiece? The number one G1 toy ever made.
He's going to be in the next Buzzworthy Ironhide 2-pack. It's going to be Power Master Ironhide and Bullet Bike.
Oh, man. I hate that they used Power Master for that little subline because it already has a meaning. And also, there's 4 of those toys, right?
Yeah, it's Bullet Bike, Stax, Ironhide, and other guy.
And they are just trash. They're just terrible toys. They're not good.
Bad. No, they're not good.
They're jump starter level bad.
Yeah.
You know, although I think I like the jump starters better. I think
jump starters have better molding though. They have that Diaclone look to them. Yeah.
They look interesting.
Yeah, the Gen 2 Power Masters are just, what is this? Yeah.
Was Rick working there at that time?
Oh, jeez.
You know, actually, there was an interview. Where did I see it? It was an interview with a guy. It was the guy who did at HasCon or whatever the thing was they did a couple weeks ago, where they interviewed the designer from Takara, and he's like, "Yeah, come around 1990, I was the only guy designing anything, so I just did what I could." And I worked on I was the only guy doing Transformers for like 4 or 5 years until Beast Wars. So everything was basically me. So you're welcome. So we can blame him and thank him because there were some cool things that came out. But at the same time, there was some real just this is what we got.
I mean, I blame for stuff like that. Like, I blame Hasbro for putting out crap product. I don't blame the employees because you're one dude doing it all, right? You know, and I don't expect you to, you know, at some point it becomes a job, it becomes a paycheck, and if people don't get the support, they do the best they can to keep stuff coming out, right? You know, it just is what it is.
Alive. It's a big deal. I
mean, at this point, it doesn't hurt anything, right? It's just, look at this goofy old dumb thing, you know. It's fun, it's funny, you know, it becomes enjoyable because of how bad it is. But like, if it was released today, I just wouldn't buy it, and I'd be like, it's a waste of time. Like a lot of Hasbro
like
stuff feels to me.
Yeah.
You know, maybe in 20 years, people will feel different. Like, oh, remember when they made this trash? Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, those will be funny. You'll have like kids who grew up watching Cyberverse buying the old half Transformers and be like, I remember when this trash came out. It's so funny.
I love this Slipstream. It only transforms half of it for some reason. It's so great. which is pretty much the Gen 2 Power Masters.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to look back at what they looked like to remind myself. And yeah, it's not too far.
It's not.
There's some sibling rivalry here between those. Yeah, so those are the two exclusives we know about. People are pretty well convinced that we're going to get the last little friend for these guys, where they think we're going to get our ram horn finally.
I was about to say, what's the
MMC.
MMC exclusive?
That's what people are rumoring, because MMC's been sharing more pictures of it. They've been like, look at this full complete set of Autobot tape guys, and Ramhorn's there. Isn't he cool? And they think they're just going to be like, surprise, the EX edition is going to be at TFcon. But
I need to pick up Rewind and Eject now that the normal releases are out now, right?
yeah, if you don't have them, yeah, they're so good.
It's one of those, like, I waited so long for like the regular releases to be available that then I just forgot about it. And at this point, it's like, you know what? I might just pick them up at TFcon. I suspect they'll be there.
So yeah,
at, normal retail price, and I'll just grab them then instead of waiting a month to get shipped.
I know that Stilljaw broke your heart, just like it broke my heart, because why did MMC put out a bad tape transformer? But
everything else is great, though. Everything else is great. You're allowed to miss.
Other than the fact that there's no sort of ankle movement whatsoever, there's no ankle tilt on this. It's perfect. They're so quick to transform. They're so nice looking. They're so fun. They're just awesome. so extremely good.
Who else usually puts out? Sometimes Keith has stuff from KFC XTB, but I don't think that's consistent. It's just sometimes something shows up.
I feel like New Age will probably put something out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they usually
New Age has done some. Yeah, they might do something. They're really milking that Grimlock of theirs.
There could be a Tiger Stripe Grimlock.
I know somewhere at some event, I think somewhere in another country, potentially China, they're apparently doing a very small release of a blue clear version of their Grimlock. So they could do some sort of clear nonsense Grimlock for us too. Maybe they could do a clear pink one, so Catherine would suddenly want a new Grimlock.
Yeah, I feel like we should be hearing stuff really soon about the rest of the stuff.
Oh, probably next week, right? That's
sometimes
about
they
the
wait
point.
till close to the show. And there's been some MMC stuff where they don't even announce it ahead of time. They're just like, surprise, here's
the show.
We got a pallet of this. Like, here you go.
I think that's how they did the first. I think that's how they did Rewind. I think they were like, surprise, it's here.
I think sometimes they don't know, and so they don't want to announce it in case they can't get the shipment in time. I feel like I've heard that story. So it's like, if they get it, great. If not, no one's disappointed.
Maybe it was Stilljaw because I got so excited when I found out he was going to be there that I got him up to my room, and I was like, I'll just transform him real fast before we go to another event. To get about halfway through it, I just set him down in disgust. I was like, this is not a transforming action figure. This is just a yellow tape. I've been tricked. Doesn't turn into a cat. It's just trash.
Been bamboozled.
I was so angry that night. I really lost my temper at that thing. I just didn't expect it. Every other tape release they've done has been intuitive and fun to play with, but that one just isn't.
I don't love the Ravage either, for what it's worth. That was the first one, and it's solid, but it is. I think the Birds and Frumble Renzi, I think they blow Ravage out of the water, and then Ravage blows Stilljaw out of the water, but that's a really low bar. So
really,
and
low
it sounds
bar.
like Eject and Rewind are just as good as Frumble and Renzi. So.
They're kind of better because you get the same basic form factor, but it's actually a faster and more intuitive transformation.
Really?
So they're really cool. I was just so impressed the first time I did Rewind. I was like, wow, this is a fun thing to play with. And it's such a nice, clean looking thing too. So it looks just as clean as Frumble Renzi, as you've been saying. But I don't have any of the birds. So what they need to do is they need to release Sundor, since they just did a Rosanna in the same basic size, so they finally have the 3 Kiss player sets together as friends since they did Glit a few years back.
Yeah.
That's what they got to do so I can have a bird in that mold
So we'll see.
and complete my Kiss player sets. Even though they did Rosanna in the stupid reformatted mold that looks kind of crappy, but oh well.
Ron
What
was
if you got there?
mentioning, X-Transbot was doing the G2 Protectobots, but we haven't gotten a new one in a while, so I don't know if maybe that somehow.
Were those? Did they release them as a con exclusive?
I think
Is that
the
what Ron's
G2 ones
saying?
would be. Yeah, like I remember
Or
they did the G2 Minosaur, right?
Yes, I don't remember
Over
if it
the
was.
course of like 30 years.
Well, like, and they've done 2 of the G2 Protectobots. Well, the 2 that are out. They've done the G2 versions of it. I just didn't know if those were convention exclusives or not. I know. I have them because for G1 I'm going to go with MMC. So for G2 I went the extra transbots, and I don't think I didn't get them from a show, but that doesn't mean they didn't come out with the show and then you can just buy it online later. Usually with that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess did we want to do a round of Ouch My Wallet? I don't know if you have anything, Rob, to show off.
Anyone is ready.
I do.
Oh.
Well, my toys, like I will have big dry spells of nothing, and then I have stuff like the last week and a half where like 3 things have come in. So it comes in waves. So yeah, I definitely have stuff to show.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I'll go first, so that way, it.
You set the bar low?
Disappointing. Set the bar low. Exactly. Well, I've gotten a lot of Hasbro crap in lately, so I guess I was going to show off the detritus mold, which is fun. Obviously, this is coming out as Hound later, but I really like the colors. I think
You
it's
say
fun.
obviously, but Hasbro might just be like,
What did
you know
we
what?
just say?
Yeah.
What did we just say?
Well,
that would be
I feel
hilarious
like
if
Hound
you did come out of that. It would be hilarious. So
I feel like Hound is a pretty obvious, like,
you said it again.
I could see something else that they don't do, but Hound, like, it seems like it'd be crazy for them not to do Hound. I don't know.
I was almost impatient and bought that, but I can't stand the color. The like.
What?
I love it.
I
want to give
I'm
him
the
a
color of sand.
I want to give
No,
him a dark brown wash though. I want to make him look more junky.
Uh-huh.
That would make it neater, I think.
Like
It's Hasbro product. How can you make it look junkier? Okay, I'm done.
Shame on you.
But yeah, no, you don't like these colors, Anna?
I don't like those colors. I think he has too few. I think he just looks like a monocolored figure to me. I just was not into it.
There's a ton of I don't know. I guess it's hard to see on camera, but there's
I'm just seeing a single color figure.
I see 2 colors.
Yes, the arms are a different color. You're totally right.
No, but like
his face is a lighter sand.
This is a different color than this. Like there's a gold on the chest or whatever from the thing. Like it's hard. I guess it's hard to see here, but there's actually quite a few different colors.
And I see a lot of good molded detail too. I think a good wash to make him a little more junky would make all that detail pop. And yeah.
I do too. And it's gonna look great as Hound. It's gonna look really cool as Hound.
So do you think we'll get that in a Buzzworthy set, or do you think we'll get it in a movie set, Studio Series 86? What do you think?
Yes.
He'll be Studio Series 86, but he'll be dead for no reason. I'll just be like, yeah, he's dead now.
I think you'll get a main line release that looks like toy colors, and then you'll get a Studios 86 that is more cartoon colors. But it's going to be a little off, so that later there can be a Buzzworthy set that gets it perfect on. Like the 86 version will have like battle damage or some stupid shit on it, right?
Yeah, the rust. What do we call it? Space rust or whatever from a couple years ago.
Space mud.
Thank you. But yeah, you have to get the weapons from one release and the arms from another release, and then the lower half from a third release. And once you've bought all 3, then you can build a perfect Mirage or Pound or whoever.
Right.
I find the eHobby G1 recolors, I think, are just kind of like one of the weirdest. Like, I don't know, they just always feel really weird to me. It was just eHobby's like, hey, we can do exclusives. Spin the wheel of colors. Okay, cool. Now, what is a matching color for that? Cool. Make a release of it. And I mean, and not always. Like, Galvatron in the main line got the cartoon colors right, and then the eHobby release was the toy colors, I think.
It was the toy colors, yep.
Yeah.
And they called it Galvatron 2, as I recall.
Yes.
The
Because
toy
in
colors
Marvel,
was
he had the toy colors.
Bingo.
And, yeah. And that was Galvatron 2, because there was actually a big continuity error where there's 2 Galvatrons, like, oh, shit.
Oh, Furman goofed up. We better fix this.
And then we'll just have one of them commit suicide. Totally cool for a kid's book. It's great.
Everything's fine.
It's fine. And then, like, then we get. I was trying to think. Like, yeah, it's just like a lot of it. Some of it had stuff it was based on, but then a lot of it, like, it was like Diaclone repaints, and then like the mini bots were based off of GoBots names. But then the color, sometimes the colors match, but I think most of them didn't. I don't think.
Yeah.
If maybe all of them didn't.
And then they couldn't use the GoBots names in the packaging because the rights weren't quite in place, depending on which country you were in or whatever. So they just called it Minibot Spy Team or Minibot Dimensional whatever team. So stupid.
But so a lot of those were just kind of random, weird, one-off stuff. But then, like, since eHobby did it as a repaint of a G1 figure, like, now they're canon.
Now they're
Whenever
canon,
there's a
now they're
hound,
official. Yeah.
like a hound, where's my sandhound? There has to be a sandhound.
Where's Road Rage? Where's Dia Burnout or Crosscut or whoever?
Because of that stuff, I had to wait so long to get a Pathfinder in the right colors. Just because all Pathfinders were just blue Cosmoses, and this one is a Pathfinder colored Cosmos. So I was finally happy. Finally feel like I have 2 Pathfinders in my collection. It is super tiny, but it's kind of perfect because the original toy's not very big anyway. So good.
I have the blue version of one of the blue Cosmos, repaints of that, of the small ones.
All of them?
Yeah.
They all frustrate me because I want to collect Pathfinder, but they all just make me mad because it's like none of them look like her.
I was hoping that they would do the whole eHobby set. And I never got any other ones. I don't know if they didn't do. They did a second
Bug
one.
Bite. Yeah, they did Bug Bite and Pathfinder.
Oh, wait, I have Bug Bite as well. That's right.
Yeah, I've got both of those on my desk at work, and I wish, same with you. I wish they would have continued doing the Warpath or Defender or whatever, and not Defender.
iGear got reasonably close,
Destroyer.
didn't they? I feel like iGear did a lot of them.
iGear got
back in the
closer,
day.
but they didn't finish either, as far as I recall. I don't know.
think
I think
they
they
did.
missed one.
They never did a tank, did they?
No.
No.
They did a
Yeah.
lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
I'm selling iGear stuff at the show, so come buy your iGear mini bots.
Oh, there you go.
Can you buy the Pathfinder?
No,
No.
I didn't
I
get
wouldn't
that
sell
one.
mine.
That was like one of the first TFcon exclusives, wasn't it? The
Wow.
iGear Pathfinder.
Like in 2014 or 2013, something like that.
I'll
Oh, wait,
find it
that was
later,
actually
but
a branded TFcon one, wasn't it? Like where TFcon actually bought it and sold it, or no? Because they did that for like a couple figures at
it
one
is
Yeah, it was
point.
branded.
it was
the
on the
box says
package.
TFcon on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're like, you know what? They didn't sell well. Fuck that. If you guys want to make exclusives for the show, you are welcome to bring them, but that's we'll help
on you.
promote it and all that. But yeah, but it's your deal.
I think Vanguardian says TFcon as well.
Cool. Who's next?
I am. I'm
Anna?
gonna do it. Yep. Or Peter as he got a box, but
I've got a bunch
got
of
a-
Peter will
boxes
be
I can
reviewing
open. I
cover
don't know
box.
which one's which, so
He's gonna fuck it, do it live while Anna shows off hers.
nice.
Peter
Okay,
cut
I'm going
the
to talk
tape.
about the figure that a lot of people ended up skipping, and that is the Shadow Striker. So Shadow Striker was a Cyberverse character, right? And she
No.
looks nothing like this, except for if you block the head, none of this is the Cyberverse character, right? This is all the old universe.
Well, before she was Cyberverse, she was Rid 15, and before she was Rid 15, she was Extended Universe 03 or whatever.
Right. So that's how this happened, right? They ended up being like, we're going to go with the universe body type, where she shares the body with Sideburn / Speedbreaker, but then we're going to give her Cyberverse head and call her Cyberverse Universe. And that's the part that gets me. Like, if they had called her like Universe or something, I would have been better with it. But since they called her Cyberverse Universe, her whole thing was that, you know, I got hurt and got Frankenstein back to life, and I'm very grumpy about it, right? And this is not a Frankenstein. This is just a head on the wrong body, which I guess is a version of Frankenstein, right? A very simple one, head on the wrong body, head transplant, stuff. But yeah, so like a lot of people saw that, you know, the mismatch. It's like, if she should be black and gold if she's going to be on this body instead of being purple, or she should have a different head, and all sorts of things. But I went ahead and wanted to see it because I'm trying to avenge the trend of all women figures and Transformers being bad for one reason or another. So I wanted to own it. And it's kind of good. Like, as a toy, as a Transformer, it's kind of good. As a depiction of Cyberverse Shadow Striker, it is not. As a depiction of Universe Shadow Striker, also not, because it's entirely wrong colors and the wrong head. But the instructions tell you to do Evo Fusion with her gun and the back of the car. I guess it's a hammer. There's your Evo Fusion. That makes you laugh. But she's actually pretty cool. Like, she poses really well. She's really fun to play with. She transforms differently than most Transformers do. You know, like the whole side of the car is her legs, and she kind of folds up over them, and the front comes around. And she's not a shell former like a lot of women are. She's got half a car hanging off her back, but it makes like cool little coattails. She can blow in the breeze. Neat.
And so is this one that, you know, obviously is like Rid Sideburn pre-tool type of thing, is what we're assuming?
Yeah, it's just gonna be him. It'll just
like,
be.
It hasn't come out yet, right? Like, I'm not. This is the first release of the mold.
Yes.
No, this is pre-tool city for sure. The only thing that's weird about it is like, and I went ahead and transformed her because I just didn't feel like transforming her again. But her car mode doesn't look like her car mode or Sideburn, so I don't really know why they gave her this car mode. Because it's like it's a purple car with a big nose. It's the only way I can describe it. It's just got this big nose coming out the middle of it. And I don't understand the car mode. Because if the car mode was just straight up Sideburn's car mode, I would have been like, okay, cool, yeah, it's the universe thing. Or if they tried to make it look more like her Cyberverse car mode, I would have been like, cool, they tried, whatever. It's just a different car. I feel don't like know.
If it didn't have the chest thing, I think it would be a no one. Is that like really the only thing that ties it to anything? Is that it's just got the iconic, you know, Rid Sideburn chest?
I feel like the legs and the way the arms are developed kind of still evoke it. The shield.
Yeah, the silhouette is really close.
Yeah, the head makes me think of Shattered Glass Blur, to be honest.
Just that's just straight her head. Like that's what she looks like in Cyberverse. It's a perfect head. Like, it is such a good head sculpt. I know my camera doesn't pick up heads very well, but it is just like a very, very nice looking head. There's nothing wrong with her head sculpt, and it's so good. And the rest of the figure is like, who is this? Who did she end up inhabiting? The only other thing that kind of bugs me about this toy is that she joins the recent Rat Trap as a toy who has her arms, her shoulders, are mounted to her back instead of to the side of her chest. So that means that they're kind of weird to move around just because of the way it's mounted. Like, you can't pull it forward. Like, right now, if I turn it to the side like this, right, I can't push it in all the directions I want to. and it actually detaches with the back. So it's kind of weird. And then the other thing it causes, if I can get her back together, is that from the side, if her arm is pointing forward, right, it makes her, right here, it makes her arms look really short, right? She just has really short arms over her chest because they're
so far
come
back
out from her. Yeah, they come out from her back, but they're perfectly long arms, right? Like that is the right arm length to look humanoid. It's just that they're coming from her back instead of the side of her chest, just like the Kingdom Rat Trap did. It infuriated me with him because he tabs together bad. She doesn't tab together bad, so it doesn't infuriate me as much. And she just poses so well. Like if you get her in a good crouching pose, adventure action, she's really good with it. Just a weird choice. She's a weird choice all around. Weird toy. But I like her. No regrets. I played with her a lot in the last couple weeks since I opened her.
Yeah, that's what when I saw that announced, I was like, this thing's gonna clearance hard. So I just was like, well, I'm just gonna wait for that old Hasbro sale to pick this one up.
And she will be your fun clearance toy when clearance gets really cheap and all you guys are getting her. You'll enjoy her. She's fun. She's fun to transform. She's fun to play with. She's fun to complain about the arms being mounted to the back. I've got to rant about it like 4 times now. Make you feel good. Your arms are not mounted to your back, so you can downward social comparison.
So, Rob, what superior toy do you have to show off?
This one just came in today. I can talk about it. I got Fans Toys Gears. It is a pretty fun transformation. I mean, it's not as quick as the G1 Gears. I'll admit it has a couple more steps. The feet are really fun. Like I like how the parts fold out. It suffers from a lot of what Fans Toys car modes do, where like once you get in there, you kind of just want to go like squish it all together to get it all to like click into place. A little bit of that. Like I'm transforming it back to robot mode right now for the first time. And this is a hot take. Well, I don't know. It's not a hot take, but it's a divisive point where Fans Toys can't decide what color scheme they want to go with things, and they bounce around all over the place. And I may give me matte, flat colors. That's what I like. A lot of other people like, no, give me metallic, shiny, or whatever. He has a mix. The blue is really shiny and metallic, but then like the legs are white and the red's pretty flat. Like it all looks really nice regardless. But they went that way versus like Huffer, who's just shiny all over for some reason, right? And then you get Sea Spray, who's flat all over. So I feel like I win what I want more often than not. But Fans Toys just like what side of the bed they wake up that morning will depend on what color they put out. I wish they would just release 2. And like from the get-go, like we're gonna have a shiny version, and we're gonna have one that's just like boring flat cartoon colors, and just pick your because they don't do a lot of repaints of these, if any.
Right.
They don't make alternatives. There's no alternative flat Huffer.
Not yet. I mean, they've done alternative decos for different things. Cyclonus and Galvatron come to mind, but like they just re-released Phoenix. Yeah, they did like 3 or 4 Phoenixes. They just reissued Lupus, and everyone speculated they were going to change the chest color to a more like white, off-white chest panel, and they didn't.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same, and you've got in the Fans Toys groups like all the smart kids like, oh no, I have an inside guy, and he told me they're fixing it. No, have fun. Maybe Flat Huffer will come. Maybe not. Half and half Gears will come. Who knows?
Yeah.
Gears is one of my objectives for the show. I still need to get.
To pick up at the show. Got it. Yeah. I was really confused for a minute.
Okay. I snoozed on parkour. I snoozed on rig. I snoozed on Gears, whatever his variables or whatever his name is.
Gears.
But I bought Surge's Bronze, Sea Spray, Warpath, Cosmos, or not Cosmos, Beachcomber. Sorry.
I mean, like overall, I've been pretty happy with their mini bots. like on the whole, like all of them got like little things that annoy me or whatever. But Gears is pretty solid. He's pretty fun. Just trying to get the freaking arms to unpeg here, but
Like parkour, the cliff jumper is far and away better than any of the other options.
that's the one I haven't bought, and not because X-Transbot's Toro was so great, because it ain't. It's
not.
embarrassingly bad, but we know they're doing it in G1. We've seen the figure like 3 years ago, right?
It was
It's
like that green one 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, like it's gonna happen at some point, and I'll just pick that one up. And until then, Toro is fine enough.
Sure.
And I heard parkour also was like not the most fun thing they've done, as
But-
far as that goes. But
It's a mixed bag because I always I look at a little bit of YouTube stuff and then I see the one of the fans toys groups that I'm in. It's a mixed bag. Some people are like, this is the easiest, most intuitive, greatest thing ever, and then some people are like, this is confusing, and I scratched the paint and I broke it in half, and I don't know what I'm doing, and why are they so expensive? Fans toys. It's like, why don't cheer for them if you don't like it? You don't have to be in the cool kids club. It's not even that.
I got so I got Gears here right here, but also recently I got Pipes, and like both solid, which is a nice palette cleanser after Power Glide. Power Glide is one of the worst figures that they've released in a long time. Like it's over-engineered, and then what isn't over-engineered like is floppy. Like, it's like even then, which is not a typical, although I mean I'll just go ahead and talk about Pipes for a little bit right now, but like this is my problem with Pipes. His arm here is floppy. But I think that's a me problem. Like, I don't think that's like a widespread issue. And his other side's fine. This one is just won't hold a pose, and so that's a bummer. But other than that, like it's a fun toy. It's a little bit to learn the first time you do it. It's kind of how Gears is. A little bit to learn the first time you do it, but after that, it's not bad. It's fun, and it looks the part. And I don't know, the feet are really fun in this one. I really like the feet. The arms are kind of annoying. Like, it's typical stuff. You take them and you shrink them up and you fold them inside. Whatever. But in general, I think if you've been getting the fans toys mini bots, that most of them are solid, some more than others, but it's a real good set altogether. And he's still over there right now. The old Bad Cube one, it's lived a good life, right? It lasted for a long time. This transformation is a lot more enjoyable. I don't hate the Bad Cube mold at all. They look good. The transformation isn't bad for Bad Cube, but this transformation is better. And of course the toy just feels like a million times better. It's, what are you gonna do? But
I'm gonna have some Bad Cube stuff for sale at TFcon. So
if I bring anything, like that's literally what it's like, what mini bots have I replaced recently that I need to bring down and just fire sell?
I feel bad because I really like those Bad Cube, figures back in the day. So
like they're good. Everything gets replaced eventually, though.
Right.
I still have Cubex Huffer before they were Bad Cube and they were Cubex, but mine didn't get all the paint scratches like everyone else's did. I was really, really careful. So of course at the show, someone was gonna be like, "I remember this." Scratch it all up and be like, "I'll give you $10."
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't like people, so I shouldn't be a dealer.
Was fun. You're gonna have that one.
Yep.
So,
I'm gonna have Braun, Outback, Huffer.
Yeah, I think I have Outback is in my pile. I think I already sold Braun.
Oh, and
a while back though.
Yeah.
I did not buy the Bad Cube Warpath. That thing looked like a nightmare to begin with, and that one that just scared me off.
I bought it. I transformed it once and was like, "Wow, okay, that's okay. We did that." And then I got the Fans Toys one. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're picking up Fans Toys mini bots at the show, I think you'll get some good finds there if you take time to open them. I know you've been struggling with that. So speaking of, what did you just open?
Well, I just opened a thing. I haven't gotten into the package yet. I'm looking at the box, but to illustrate how far behind I am on everything, you guys were talking about the Slipstream, and I guess they're doing another red guy. The Make Toys guys are doing Red Guy. What's his name? Red Wing.
Red Wing?
Oh
Yeah.
no, no!
Yeah,
they
they're
are?
Let
redoing.
that die. Don't make that. Should never have been a thing.
It just showed up again on one of the feeds. Anyway, so and you were talking about how great the most recent MP 3.0 or 2.0 or 9.0 whatever Starscream Seeker mold was, minus the knees. I still haven't opened any of those. That's how far behind I am. I haven't opened any of the Seekers, and I bought multiples of each so I could, pose them in different places and stuff. I'm just, But yeah, Rob, you spoiled it. It's okay. I got Spider Guy, and I'm happy with. I'm happy. This is my favorite Transmetal piece from the original Transmetals line, and I'm excited to have him in a masterpiece scale because Tarantulas is awesome. I hope they do the silver version. And I'm sure they will because they've been doing all the Ape Linky, RC redecos here and there, Pack Rat. So limited as they will be, I will aim for that one too.
I'm really glad that this is your favorite, as like character or whatever, just because it is the best figure they've done. And you've already seen my post about it. On
I
Facebook
saw you and Billy talking about it. Yeah.
And it's funny because the previous release was Black Arachnia, which is the worst thing they've done.
Oh my goodness.
And
I haven't opened her yet. She's still in the pile.
Leave her box.
Yeah.
I mean,
Better that way.
I've heard that I'm going to break all of her legs putting them on. I've heard that all of
No, you're not.
You need to be careful with the
You're just
legs.
not gonna like her.
Like the legs, it like has warning sheets in there, and you can they put a video online of what to do with the legs. They're too stiff out of the package. Like if you have to hold it in a certain way to loosen, and then once you loosen it up, it's fine. But that's out of the package, they're really stiff, and if you just try to bend it the way if you're just oh, well, just bend it like that, like you would in normal, no, you're gonna break it. It's gonna snap right off. One of mine broke of the 8 or whatever. And that was with me trying to do it, and the rest of them I loosened up. But it's
Maybe that's not the case with the RC because I only have the RC.
I hope not.
And I absolutely detest it, but nothing broke. I just don't like it.
It's molded really well, and the paint and the finish on Black Arachnia is great, but it's barely a transformer, and it's just kind of loose and thinly, and it just doesn't feel great. This is they're obviously using a different plastic for this than everything else they've used. I like Transart a lot, but their plastics always kind of have that almost knockoff feel, not Big Lots knockoff, but that it has that. It's like a step above that, but still way below other stuff. This is what you expect from most third-party company plastics. It is just.
Okay. Well, hopefully they keep it up. I know they've come a long way since their slightly upscaled or slightly more articulated Optimal Optimus that they did 5 years ago. So I'm glad that they're making progress. I'm excited to open them up.
Yeah, this guy is just a real knockout. It's, as I was saying, for I have that one opened on my shelf because that's the only show accurate Beast Machines Primal that exists, and it's a unique
Big Lots
mold.
logo goes right here. This should be Big Lots.
It is such trash. That's closer to what Transart plastic usually feels like.
And it's stapled together. It's beautiful.
But no, just because you don't have him to bring out the transformation's not bad, and I don't know, it's so pretty. All the joints on mine at least are well toleranced, and I don't know. If you really love that character and it's your favorite Transmetal design or whatever, you should bump it to the top of the list because it's going to put you in a good mood. As long as you don't break it as soon as you open it for some reason or whatever. But
I very rarely break anything.
Yeah.
If I was going to TFcon, I would definitely pick up that one. I really like spiders, and that thing just looks so cool.
It's not just a spider. It's a spider that has a wheel that you can put in the front of it, and he can roll around.
It is really spider?
Spider bike.
Yeah, he has the spider bike mode completely intact like you would expect. So
didn't Christian get this and actually enjoy it?
Yes.
I mean, that's high praise right there.
Well, he's talked positives before about Transart just because their transformations are always pretty simple, so.
Right.
Yeah, he likes them. Just every time he gets one of the figures, he's like, should I keep this? Should I get rid of it? Does it go with my other toys? But he likes that.
Right.
I only have one of their figures. I just bought this stupid RC because I get all the RCs, right? And a lot of times getting all the RCs means I buy really stupid, trashy toys, and that Spider RC is one of them. The stupid trash face. I really don't like it. And
There was
actually,
another.
like, I want to keep as many RCs as I can, but that one, every time I look at it, I'm like, I should just sell that because that thing is annoying.
There was another company doing Transmetal Black Arachne as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know that we've heard anything in a
Legends?
while. No. It was a masterpiece sized one.
Another
You know,
big one? Okay.
Yeah,
But it was
Transart
like
came
their
out first.
Yeah, it was like their first offering too. It was like
Yeah.
who are these people and what are they doing? Okay.
It's like, I mean, if it comes out and it looks good, cool.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
Get away from that dumb RC. She's there. She's on my shelf. You see her right there. Sort of.
Mm-hmm. She's peeking up. We also got some GoBot mangled card backs.
Ooh.
Got one for Bolt.
Oh, there you go.
I got one for Ace. Ace is hard to find in shape like this.
Oh, that's
so
a really nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like almost like a kid took care taking it off.
Yeah. Unlike this, which is
Yeah.
But I already have a Bolt in better shape than this, and then a really nice Zero. Same thing where
Oh,
the
yeah.
kid really tried to
Or the glue
maintain-
didn't go on.
Yeah, or that. But I mean these packages used to have really good sturdy glue, so you had to like,
Okay.
you know, work it
Steam 'em.
off. Yeah. So
I've bought some Ninja Turtle card backs time to time,
Yeah.
and like usually, I only bought like a few. I wanted some, right? And so I bought some lots, and it's like some of them are really nice, and the other ones like, why would anybody buy this? You know, it was in a lot, so I got it, but it's just
so
like
it comes in.
all the interesting art is ripped off of it, you know. So it's what's the point?
I still have all my old card backs from my Turtles collection, Pizza Face, Ground Chuck, all those guys.
Awesome.
They're all. I found. I think I've told this story before. In a box because I had all my TMNT stuff in a tote because that's where things live, and I had my Krang box, and I looked inside the Krang box because it felt heavier than an empty box should, and inside the Krang box were a couple of Action Master boxes. It was Starscream
awesome.
and Prowl. It was like from the smaller vehicle assortment, and I was like, "What? Why did I put these in here?" Because at one point they went missing, and they went missing during a move. I think it was from Arkansas to Florida back in '92. So I figured my dad just threw them out because that was like his MO is like, oh, it got lost in the move, and he would just throw away things wholesale. So I just wrote it off in my head, but apparently they got hidden in a different box. Yay!
Well, on the plus side, it gave you a little bonus 10
It did.
years later, or 15 years later, or
It was
however
like
long.
15 years later. It was a while later.
It
Like my
truly
little
did
heart
get lost
sang.
in the move.
Yep. Hang on, I'm gonna put these in my notebook. I'll be right back.
I'm going to share the nose with everyone. Anyone who doubted me that she's a nose car, she's a
It's
nose
weird-
car.
Yeah, that's.
I
The car
don't
with
think
the
anybody was
nose.
doubting you.
Little squinty, angry eyeballs and big nose. Gonna snip ya. Don't get it.
With this Gears, Anna, like Fans Toys has had to start up in their game because of competition. Like X Transbots or not, they've forced Fans Toys to do better. Gears comes with like 500 faces.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, my camera's not going to be able to show them, so I'm not going to try. But just want to take a quick look. So he's got his normal face on there, and then he's got like kind of like a grump face, a yelling face, a smiling face, a frowny face, and then just slight grin face, and then his just plain boring face that's on him. That's just neutral. And so that's it's not typical for Fans Toys to throw in a bunch of faces. Like they've had to start upping their game and including accessories and not skimping on as much articulation.
I love having lots of faces. Like, the These guys come with lots of faces. The Rewind and Eject, they all come with like 5 or 6 faces. But I usually end up just picking the goofiest face from the set and using it forever. I don't usually go back. That's why when Holler came out with the screaming face, the mainline one, I was so excited. Other people were like, why does he have a stupid screaming face? And I was like, that is the face I would put on him if I had a choice. He is screaming forever. That's beautiful. Love it so much.
I'm like you. I like having a variety of faces. And so people are like, oh, it's just all this extra crap. I don't only need one face to show it. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to pick different ones than other people. And that's what's fun about it. And it makes the shelf look more interesting when they're all just not in just stoic neutral faces, and I enjoy that. Like, I just get a mix.
Any collector's room is just any Transformers collector's room is just a billion sets of eyes and faces staring at you from all different directions. At least they can be a little variety, right? Like, I don't want them all stoically staring at me. I want to be able to look at least one of my toys and it smiles back at me, at least one of them, and it screams in existential terror. Like, I need that variety in my life. Butter.
It's the toy that smiles back until you bite its head off. Oh wait, that's Goldfish.
That's been a problem for me lately. I have a puppy at home. She's been biting everyone's heads off.
Uh-oh.
On the plus side, though, you got a puppy.
She's wonderful and cute, and I like her so much. But yesterday, I had to actually partially pull a piece of plastic poop out of her because it made it all the way out. It just needed a little help. Got partially caught in her fur, and
anybody that owns pets, you've had to do something of that nature.
Smelled like poop, had the texture of plastic. It was real special.
I've had to pull dingleberries off a cat's butt multiple times over the years. Not as much lately because our current cats are medium hair. But my first cat, Dagnabbit, she was a long hair, and when they go running across, and it's like, why does it stink? It's like, oh no. And you see they're trying to chase away their poop that's stuck in their fur. It doesn't work. And then they're mad at you. Yeah, and it just gets all mushed in there. Ugh. But they're worth it. She cried
so much from having to have the plastic pulled out of her.
Come back next week for more pet talk. This is great.
What the hell is that, Peter?
It's a
GoBots branded camera?
It's a GoBots branded camera. It's the second one of these that I have. Mine is, my other one is, this one has a kind of rough shaped camera, but the box is gorgeous. It's a 110 camera. It uses flash cubes if you have them. So, run out to your local whatever and get some flash cubes. And
your
110
local
film.
Amazon webpage.
Exactly. So,
does it transform?
No, it just has a decal on the front that says GoBots. That's it. And it's in the rough colors of Leader 1.
It's a gray camera in the 80s. That wasn't a unique color style.
Right.
My 110 camera that I had in the 80s was a teal color. I also had a disc film camera that was teal. Like, everyone talks about the 80s were brown and bland. Like, everyone thinks the 80s look like this, but it really looked like this. Have you seen that meme? For me, the 80s did look like teal and hot pink and
the 80s stuff did that. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, like, the synth pop people didn't hop out wearing, wood paneling clothes, No,
they did not. No, they did not. That's, yeah. So, yeah, I bought some GoBot stuff. Oh, I got more GoBot stuff if you want to look.
I like GoBot stuff.
Do we have time for more?
I like to vicariously live through Peter and his GoBot.
Yay.
Same.
I like Peter's stuff, yeah, because it's going to be way different than the rest of ours.
Well, I always feel like it's probably good that I'm not going down to TFcon, because I always feel like that I'll like walk around and find some like GoBots or like Machine Robo stuff, and Peter will say, "Oh yeah, you should totally buy that."
Yeah.
That would happen.
Lucas was like the only witness to my anxiety attack at the last show. That was fun because I hadn't bought anything yet. And I was like, I need to buy something or else I'm going to lose my mind. And you were like, just buy something then. You're always encouraging people to buy stuff. Just pick something. I don't wanna. And then I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know what
You
to
said
do.
that you had the first purchase jitters for the weekend.
But it was like 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and it
Said
was
you could have
tough
pulled a
because
me and just not bought
we were right
anything.
across from Chuck from Artfire. Or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
too. So,
Artfire, yeah.
That was the other thing that was tough is it's like he almost had too much stuff. Because like
Yeah.
if there's one thing, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just get that. But then if there's a bunch of things, it's like, well, how do you choose?
Well, I didn't need very many things, but the things that he had that I did need were prohibitively expensive, and it was like, I can do this, but oh man, I'm gonna regret it.
Like, should I really buy this Dino King gift set?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
So this
which
box
I
is
still
from
don't have.
France. Well, you'll get there.
Ooh, French
I mean,
film.
I could buy it if I wanted to. I just
Yeah, you just gotta find one. Find one at a decent price, and that doesn't exist anymore because 2007 happened. And
yeah, like I've had opportunities to buy it, you know, and it's just like I just don't want to spend that money on it. I already have an instructor that I never play with because it'll shatter in my hand. So
my instructor survived my childhood. I had it, like I got it for
Damn.
Christmas of '89, and I sold it to Hydra when he was still living in California in the late '90s. I traded it to Hydra, and it was all except for one foot plate had yellowed. Everything else was present and in perfect shape. Stickers are all
Wow.
there.
Wonder if he still has it.
I don't know. Maybe. Like we've done trades and sales and stuff since then. He sold me his sealed Big Powered in 2015. So that was fun.
I used to have. I bought my Big Powered as the gift set, but then I sold the box to somebody. Long time ago. You know, I still have the toys, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've yellowed a little bit.
That's not fun.
Not a ton, but you can tell on Diatlas that like one of the big wings, even though like it's mostly sticker, like just has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, and kind of just on that side of him. So bummer. Oh well.
I want Transformers. I like Transformers.
That way it looks vintage, right?
I don't know. I like it looking pearly white personally. It's awesome.
All right.
We're almost there, guys.
We lost Anna.
Yeah.
I realized that
she's
someone
back.
had snuck out of my room, and I figured she had something, and she did in fact have.
Oh, your
She had
dog.
this with
Oh
her.
no.
Yeah. Well, he used to have a gun, and I don't think he has one anymore.
That plastic you pulled out of your dog.
There you go.
This will be the next one. This is tonight's ingestion.
Mm.
No more gun for you, weird movie Q figure guy.
Isn't that one of that's like Leadfoot or something? Not Leadfoot. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, it's with
Leadfoot.
crosshairs.
Crosshairs. Whatever.
That's his name, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Some guy from the.
All right. So we got Casmodon. Machine Robo's Devil Casmodon, known as Vamp in the States. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty cool. And
Cool.
Vamp was a girl in the GoBots cartoon, but in Machine Robo there were several of them, and they were mostly male characters. And we got Falgos, who was Pincher in the GoBots cartoon, released as a Machine Robo Devil in Japan. I got these from France. I don't know. And then here we have.
You already had all the Machine Robo figures, didn't you, before? But these are the French variants.
No, these are Japanese variants. These are just Japanese ones.
Well,
I couldn't find them in Japan. I don't have a complete set. I'm a very close to complete set, and this gets me 3 figures closer. This finishes up my pre-Chronos Devils, the Devil Invaders, and then this is my first Chronos era Devil. It's another Casmodon, just in a different box. So that's both versions there. And then Super Vamp wasn't released in Japan, that I recall. I don't think
Those
so.
look like really nice boxes.
Oh, they're gorgeous boxes. That's why I was like, and I've been talking to the seller for over a year now. They've been in my cart, and the seller just refused to ship to the States. I don't ship to Ozatazuni. I don't do it. I'm like, okay, I'm not joking. This is like, I will take care of these toys. They are my friends. Please ship to me. If I start shipping to you, I have to start shipping to everybody. And no, you don't. Just turn it on for like an hour. Just turn on shipping to the States for an hour, and I'll buy them, and then you can turn it right back off. And I sent them pictures of my stuff, and it took a year to convince them, and they finally went for it. So
did they care about who was getting it, or they just didn't want to deal with international
I think they just
shipping?
didn't want to deal with international shipping, but I told them like how much it means to me to have, because these are like ones that I'm like specifically missing, and I guess everything I'm missing I'm specifically missing, but you know what I mean.
They're on your active hunt list.
They are on my active hunt list indeed, and they mean a lot to me to finish this set. Like, so very happy to get these. And
Was that just on eBay or?
Yeah, it was on eBay.
So did the seller decide to like whatever, turn on their stuff for an hour or whatever kind of thing? Or
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So they because I was doing because I do reserve time whatever over the summer. So I was on reserve time, and I can't bring my phone in with me to the work center. So it was in the middle of like I'd like keep running back out to my car. They said they would make a decision later in the day. I'd run back out to my car and like grab my phone and like, oh, okay, I'm ready. And they're like, okay, ready and go. And the shipping changed, and then I bought them, and then I went back to their store, and nope, I don't ship to the States. It's like, I did it.
That's great.
Yeah. So
You charmed the crap out of them.
I win.
Figures sent to you.
You know, that's so funny just because I didn't ship international until eBay let me do it easily.
There is an easy way to do it. Yeah. You just send it to their forwarding center or whatever
in
now.
Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah. And like as long as the box gets to them, fine. It's really hard for you to get fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying it can't, because you know if somebody raises a big enough stink. Although I've had eBay before just be like we're gonna do a one-time courtesy, no fault for anyone, and they gave the person their money back, and I kept my sell. You know, type of thing. You know, if it came up a lot, I assume it would be different, and that was a while back too. I don't know how they do it today, but yeah, well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you had to keep on it though.
Yeah, it was a every couple months pester like, hey, how about now? Hey, how about now? Hey, how about now?
It's funny that in that year's time, nothing else popped up.
A couple popped up in Japan, but everyone's eyeballing things in Japan now, like hard. Everyone figured out how to use proxy sellers and all that. Proxy buyers, which is it's what it is. I hate that phrase, but it is what it is. But people are spending like $200 and $300 for mangled box 600 series figures, and I'm not doing that. You just expand your search. Go look in Hong Kong. Go look in Thailand. Go look elsewhere, and you're gonna find them. Up there they are. Ship to me, please. Please.
Please.
You know?
Please.
But like on the YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Facebook now, everyone, especially in the Transformers groups, you'll have clowns that are like, "Hey, look at this thing I found on Yahoo," and now 3,500 people in the group they just shared it in are all gunning for the same stupid thing. So the price went from $50, which is what it should sell for, to $600, and now that's the price. Mm-hmm. So all the eBay sales adjust the price because one just sold in Japan for blah blah blah, and this one's in the States. So you get to save on shipping, bro. No. So make your contacts, make them all over the world. Have someone in each region or whatever, and pester them, and be nice about it. Be nice about pestering them.
For me, my hookup is Artfire. Like the stuff that's left on my list is stuff that he pretty regularly gets. It's just like I have to, and it's in my toy budget. I just have to feel like spending the money on it, and just lately it's just been like, I'm good.
Yeah, and for Chuck, you have to. Sometimes it benefits you to talk to him ahead of time, because when he does like those release announcements, like, hey, I've just added 200 things to this the website, people just start buying it up, and it's like, and most of those people are gonna sell it in a year because they didn't really want to spend $2,500 on a thing that they don't know how to transform and don't really care about and have no connection to. They just wanted the thing for
They
5
were excited.
Yep.
Yeah, in the moment.
Yep. So, but I mean, you can't beat pieces like this. This is where it's at. This is what true fan collecting looks like right here. So that's it. Let's all go to TFcon.
Yay, TFcon. Well, I hope you guys have fun. So I'm going to have fun on my trip, which is not connected to Transformers at all. So, but unfortunately, the family did not want to go to a Transformers convention for vacation.
They didn't have to come.
Yeah, I know.
Or you could just get a new family.
My family's going to be there, and they're going to entertain Rob's daughter.
There you go.
It's going to be so awkward.
It's going to be awkward. Like all 3 awkward teenagers running around a hotel. Go have fun.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, join us for Anna's Anime Academy on Sunday night at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern on the TF Talk Discord. I guess it's Super God Master Force episodes 35 and 36.
Wow.
I'm getting towards the end. Yeah, I made book club watch Super God Master Force.
Have we reached the Matterhorn yet?
No.
Okay.
How are y'all liking Master Force? Do you like the show?
I
haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember really liking it when I watched it.
I've watched it multiple times and I like it a lot.
Awesome.
It's the best of the 3.
Yeah. Headmasters is just bad. The dub makes it funny at least, but even without that, it's just bad.
And Victory is very surface level. There's nothing going on. It's like bad guys want energy, good guys heroically stop them.
Repeat.
Master Force is a pretty average anime from the period, but because it's an average anime plus Transformers, it ends up being above average for us as fans as you're watching it, because it's like, oh, the plot is coherent and fun and kind of silly, and oh, but there's robots, so it's okay. It's great. It's perfect. I wish Brownie showed up more.
I'm going to send you my favorite clip from the Master Force dub in Messenger after this. So I would share it here if I could.
It's pretty fun still. It's not as ridiculous as the Headmaster's dub. The Headmaster's dub actually helps the one for Super God Master Force. Like, you watch it, you laugh a few times, and you're like, I'm probably missing something. And then you go back to the subs.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks for showing off that cool stuff, Peter. It's always fun to see GoBot stuff. So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess, hopefully we'll do a show on Monday. We'll see just how things shake out. But I know later in the week that everyone's going to be on vacation. So, well, except for Anna, I guess. But it's okay.
No vacations for me.
So.
It's just my birthday week. Why would I take a vacation? Jeez.
Right? So, yeah, it's going to be a little sad they won't be able to celebrate your birthday with you. I feel like we usually do at TFcon.
I know, and this would have been the year, right? This is the 40th birthday. So everybody could have made, like, your old jokes, even though I'm one of the younger ones in the group.
Right. I was going to say, we'd all be like, yes, how old you are.
Yeah, we're the elder statesmen here. So
it's going to be right before Amanda's birthday. Just right at that cutoff this year.
So happy birthday to you, Anna.
Yep.
Happy early birthday.
Yep.
I remember that in 2 weeks.
So there you go.
I'll forget by then. So yeah.
Me too. I hope.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, and thanks to everyone in the chat, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Night.